Good evening and welcome to Netzach Yisrael Daily Kitzur Show from Aruch. Tonight we are doing Siman Pei Gimel. That's Hilchos Nizkei Mammon. The halachas regarding damages to someone else's property. Sif Aleph. Also, the Hazik Mammon Chaveira is forbidden to damage someone else's property. Afilu al das l'shalom. Even if your intention when you cause the damage is that you'll pay the damage that you caused. Commercial also ligno v'ligzol al das l'shalom. In the same way, it's forbidden to steal something, even if your intention is to pay it back. Afilu ligno nezet l'chaveira. Even if you just indirectly cause damage to your friend, bein b'mas, bein b'dibur, whether it's through action or speech, also that's forbidden. Could go in Reuven shemocha scholagai. For example, Reuven sells some property or whatever, or some item that he has. Or Shimon v'omela, and Shimon comes and he says to the person who bought it, she'ena shavakokach, that it's not worth what he paid for it. Even if that's actually true that it wasn't worth what he paid for it, also it's still forbidden because he's overcharged him, and that's but it was a permitted way of overcharging, and now he's trying to. Shimon is indirectly causing it that the sale might get cancelled. Anyone who causes indirectly damage to his friend, even if it's in such a way that a Beis Din would not find him guilty and not make him pay it back. Nevertheless, as far as heaven is concerned, he is nevertheless chayav until he appeases his friend and asks forgiveness. Even if somebody has a damage that has come onto his property, he's not allowed to remove it from himself. If by him removing it from himself, he directly will cause it to affect his friend. Because he cannot save himself, even if it's only indirectly causing damage to his friend's property. But if it's before the damage has actually arrived at his property, he's allowed to direct it away from himself, pushed away, but it won't affect him, even though that will indirectly cause it to affect his friend. Could go, for example, water that's flowing, so it's going to flood his field. Before the water gets to his field, he can make a fence around his field. He should tap a stick of air, even though by building that fence, it will then be redirected and it will flood his friend's field. Once the water has already flooded his field, then he cannot take the water out of his field in a way that it will then flood his friend's field. Since the damage is already now on his property, he's not damage onto his friend. If you've got an army of the king comes to a city, and the people of that city are required to provide support for the army. Also, it's forbidden for one of the people of the city to go and pay the person who's in charge of the army to not have to house or sustain the army. Because by doing that, he's going to cause somebody else in the city, it's going to cause damage to them because they're going to have to do more than their fair share. Similarly, any other element of taxation, you're forbidden to try and get yourself out of paying taxes. If they're doing so, you'll make the tax burden on everyone else increase. But when someone does that, it's called a mosor, passing over. It's forbidden to inform on a Jewish person to the goyim, whether it's about himself or about his money, whether it's through action or speech, to inform about him or to reveal his secret. And when it does, he has no portion in the world come. Even if the person you're informing on is a wicked person, does Averis, also the Mosra you're not allowed to inform on him either about his body or about his money. Even if the person you're informing on is always causing him trouble and belittling him in issues or words. But if his friend has already informed on him, and the only way to save himself is to inform on his friend, on his fellow, then that's okay. Also, it's forbidden to enter into another person's plowed field, because then you are going to tread on his plowing, and that will damage the field. Also, it's forbidden to stand next to someone else's field to look at it at the time when it's got a standing core in it, nor does not cause damage with the evil eye. More so, you're not allowed to look at your friend himself in such a way that there's a concern that it could cause damage through the evil eye. Even if it's things that he's doing where there's no doubt, there's no concern that it might cause damage through the evil eye, nevertheless, if he's doing it in his own house, on his own property, also you're not allowed to look at him without his knowledge. He might not want other people to know what he's up to. And it's polite, that if you see somebody, when one person sees somebody else doing their work, you should bless him and say to him, you should be successful in your endeavors. So forbidden to do something even in your own property if it's going to cause damage to your neighbor. So, for example, so you can't leave in your field, in your courtyard, next to the wall that's shared with somebody else, anything which is hot and produces heat that will damage the wall. Could go in like a pile of manure or something similar. Unless you distance it enough that it's not going to cause damage, for example, 3 tefach. Similarly, you have to have a distance not to pour water next to your friend's wall. Therefore, if you've got a gutter that pours water from the roof, you have to distance it at least 3 tefachim from your friend's wall. And also, you're not allowed to pour out a bucket of excrement or urine close to wall of your friend. And to relieve yourself next to your friend's wall, if it's a wall made of stone, such as 8 bleated, or wooden fence which has not been plastered, it's enough to distance 1 tefach. If it's plain stone, you don't have to distance at all. You can relieve yourself even directly against the wall. If it's a wall of bricks or wood but it's been covered with plaster, you have to distance yourself 3 tefachim. By an oath, Siman and look further about that in the next Siman. Okay, have a good evening.